races. Pack your patience when it comes to the House of Representatives because it could take days, maybe even weeks. It takes them a while to count in all of those California races, so we could be waiting for a while to learn who controls the House. In terms of the Senate, it's a 51-49 Democratic majority now. It's a really tough map for Democrats this cycle. We could know much sooner in terms of the Senate. Already Republicans are positioned to pick up a seat in West Virginia where Joe Manchin is retiring. And in another red state, John Tester, the Democratic senator from that state, is running a tough re-election in a state that Trump has won.
Oh, shit.
He is going to need voters in that state to ticket split to get another term. And then we have the rest of the races, which is really where Democrats are playing defense. A lot of them are in some of those swing states that Domenico was talking about. Blue wall states like Michigan, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, another closely contested race in Nevada. So those races could be tied to the top of the ticket.
Miles Parks, over to you. You are our voting correspondent. I know you are watching how people are voting, among a lot of other things. What can you tell us?
Well, so voting happened today across 10,000 voting jurisdictions, and overall, experts seem really thrilled with how voting went today. Obviously, anytime this many people are doing the same thing on the same day, there will be some issues, and we've seen some of those issues. I think the most prominent one we've seen is bomb threats in a number of states that the FBI says seem to have come from Russian domain addresses. We've seen them in Arizona, Wisconsin, and Georgia, notably. Though I will say even those have been pretty isolated to a few precincts. We saw some evacuations in Georgia, but those don't seem to have disrupted voting for longer than an hour. All right, just to recap, the small amount of information we have so far is a few polls have closed at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Republican presidential candidate Donald Trump has won Kentucky. Indiana, Democratic presidential candidate Kamala Harris has won Vermont. And let's go to our White House correspondent, Deepa Shivaram, who is at the Harris campaign's election night headquarters at Howard University here in Washington, D.C. Hi, Deepa. Do we have Deepa Shivaram with us on the line? Oh, there you are. Okay, there's a bit of a delay on your line, but tell us how they chose to spend election night at Howard.
Well, look, Howard is a really personal place for Kamala Harris. This is her institution where she went to get her college degree. She moved here when she was, a young adult, and really found a lot of her identity here, and also found connections that, have really stayed a big part of her identity her whole career. This is where she pledged her sorority, Alpha Kappa Alpha, as she interned on Capitol Hill when she was at Howard. She was protesting things like apartheid on the National Mall, and she here really decided to